Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm your homie HerbMan. All right. We're coming live from South Africa, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Please go somewhere, get situated for what we're doing today. Right. So we teach people how to heal themselves, but you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach people about the human frame and the human design so that you guys are well on your way to the happiness, the wholeness, and the wellness that you so surely deserve. All right. So all we got to do is understand that this thing is very simple, is very affordable, and it is very effective for you. You don't have to be looking at it so daunting and all this type of stuff. You can change your life. All right. So this is a free information station. You guys don't have to pay for anything that you hear here today. All you simply got to do is pay attention. And how we do that on the HerbMan Show is by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. I promise you I'll work for my food. And obviously we want you to work to do the same. And once we continue to interact, you'll see how great this information really is, you guys. All right. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome into your Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yeah, welcome into your Tuesday. All right. And so we about 5:10 p.m. over here in South Africa, you guys. So I'm telling you, it's a gorgeous day today. You guys should be very, very good. Now, here's the thing. Today is going to be a controversial day. You know, every now and then folks got to be controversial, but I think for the most part, what we're doing and what we're offering to the public is controversial at the fundamental core of it anyway. But it doesn't take away the effectiveness. It doesn't take away what this actually really means for us as a species of people. So therefore, when people have a decision to make about their health, it is very important that you understand everything and all of the nuances that's considered. When people are going and taking these cancer treatments, you got to look at everything involved. What if somebody told you got cancer? What if somebody told you got autoimmune disease? Or what if somebody told you got an incurable? You know, you're going to panic. You're going to get into this mindset, man. And it's very easy to follow down paths that you say you don't believe in right now because you're healthy, that you may believe in when you get sick. Okay? So you must understand what people go through, the nuances, right? But what I want to teach you is even in your panic state, even in your state of needing to get something done, that you can still run to a particular one of these that are going to handle all of those situations at one time. Now, obviously, when you're looking at surgeries, broken bones, stuff like that, we already know what we need to be doing. But when you're looking at how they're taking care of us, when you're looking at the healthcare facility as a whole, and you're looking at the medications, the treatments, the x-rays, all of the electromagnetic frequency emissions that we're getting from all these different things, okay, cool, I get it. You guys are very good at technology, but in a nutshell, we should be further along than what we really are. Okay, we should be further along than what we really are. And so the question is, why aren't we? Okay, why aren't we further along than what we need to be? It's because you got to understand what the core problem is. Okay, what is the core problem when you're dealing with reductionism versus holism? Okay, reductionist medicine, okay, assumes this is the biggest part about it, is the assumption that if you fix the part, you can fix the whole. But what we don't understand is that when you handle people in part, you actually start to sever the connective harmony that the body works in a coherence with. So if I come in there and just mess with your kidneys without understanding how everything is connected to the kidneys, then guess what? I mess up the harmony between the other organs that work with the kidney. That's why Dr. Laila Africa, if you guys know him, he always told you about the STAR method, right? So this STAR method was nothing but an understanding of how to go back into the system. Okay, so let's say if your brain, all right, was an issue, then obviously we're going to go to the colon, okay, or to the lungs. You see, because the colon and the lungs help the brain. So instead of going to the brain, I'm going to go to your colon and your lungs, because that may relieve the pressure off the brain. If the brain is already tainted, okay, if the brain is already tainted, then I don't want to necessarily go straight toward an already infiltrated, already ran down organ. So therefore, how do I help this organ? By taking the pressure off in other areas. Okay, so if I relieve the lungs, if the lungs ain't congested, that helps the brain. If the colon, the digestive system ain't congested, that helps the brain. So if I work and make sure that these two are okay, then that'll take a little pressure off of a ran down organ. And so that is what Dr. Laila Africa was teaching you, was how to go back into the track of the body and start looking for root causation, but then also start understanding the harmony of the body to a sense to where you understand that you got to know how connected this thing really is, you guys, all right? But the human being is not a machine. And I think that the real problem with modern medicine is that they deemed us to be mechanical. This is what they deemed us. They deemed that you are a mechanical species, okay? Which is not wrong, but is not all. Okay, they deemed you a mechanical species, then you work. That's not wrong, but it's not all. Okay, you are a network of light, a network of water and electricity and chemistry and emotions and memory and consciousness. And with reductionism, it simply breaks the body into pieces. And it loses the connectivity, the relationship that creates health. Come on, somebody, you keep tapping out, keep talking, you guys. Let's get us up to 100,000 likes, okay? During the live broadcast, y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I do. Please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on, all right? So you must understand that. So that's the first part, is that we're just not mechanical, all right? We are just not mechanical. We're just not what you would call machines, but we have souls and spirits. And those things also generate particular qualities within this particular mechanism, all right? So they think that we're mechanical, okay? Reductionism also, you know, when you look at modern medicine, you got to look at what questions is modern medicine asking, okay? Modern medicine is normally going to ask you things like, what organ is broken, okay? What pathway is malfunctioning? What receptors do we block or do we stimulate? That's going to be normally the projectivity of modern medicine. This is going to be a life-changing medicine, a lesson today. So I want you guys to listen to this, okay? It's not your average stuff. Yes, we're offering the owner's manual. If you're interested in that, DM us. But I want you to learn something today. I want you to learn the difference between the healthcare systems, okay? These are healthcare systems, all right? And I need for you to understand the difference of the healthcare system so that you can understand what do you want to undergo. It is totally up to you. It's totally your choice, but there is a competitor here, okay? It ain't just McDonald's on the block. You got a Burger King, and I want to start to really push this in the community of holism, of holistic practicing, of all of this stuff that I've been teaching you guys. We got to understand that there is a industry to compete against this particular healthcare system. And you must understand that it's an option for you. If you go all the way up to Donald Trump, it is an option for you to not just go through reductionism, but you have an option to also go through holism. It is a push. It is a drive. It is the ministry. It is my calling. It is why I am here, to let you understand that there is another option and another system of healthcare. Now let's keep it going. Again, they're asking you what organ is broken. They're asking you what pathway is malfunctioning. They're asking you which receptor do we block or stimulate. That's what they do. But your organs don't work alone. Your organs don't work alone. The blood affects the lymph. The lymph affects the fascia. The fascia affects the nerves. The nerves affects the hormones. The hormones affect the emotions. The emotions affect the electricity. The electricity affects the consciousness. Okay? So you must understand the difference. And reduction medicine treats what? It treats high blood pressure with what? Medication. It treats high blood sugar with what? Medication. It treats inflammation with what? What does this thing do, you guys? Y'all know, let's come on with it. What does reductionist medicine treat these things with? It treats high blood sugar with medication. It treats high blood pressure with medication. And it treats inflammation with what? Thank you, LeVay. All right. Thank you, LeVay. All right. Thank you, Whitney. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in to the HerbMan Show. Thank you for waking your ass up. I'm here today too. We're going to get you on this Tuesday. Okay. We got to get you still today because you got to learn. Okay. You got to learn that there is an option for you. There are options, but what I'm trying to get you to understand that now we have a system in holism. There is a system. Okay, that we can understand the finite, understand what you got going on, and treat you better. Okay, and treat you better, right? So they're treating these particular issues with medication, but they're not treating the upstream cause, the root cause. So what happens is that when you treat these things with medication, this causes chronic disease, dependency, and constant reoccurrence. Because you're severing the tie between the connectivity of the body. You're severing the holism when you go inorganic stuff in your body, you guys. Inorganic stuff. I'm talking about medications, but I'm really talking about anything inorganic. But reductionist medicine almost completely ignores the cellular light emission. Okay, that's over here. We talking about cellular light. They don't give a damn about no cellular light over here. Okay, it completely ignores the circadian rhythm. Okay, that's over here. We telling you guys about sleeping better. They don't give a damn about no sleeping better. Take this medication. Okay, they don't give a damn about photons and all this biophotons, and they don't give a damn about no photon-based signaling. Okay, but that's over here. That's what we teach you about, the light and how important it is to get the light. Okay, photon-based signaling. They don't care, but holism do. Okay, and they don't care about the effects of sunlight on hormones and regeneration. But we know the effects of sunlight on the hormones and regeneration. Okay, and so without light, you guys, your cells lose information. Remember that the light is information, meaning that they lose their information to repair you. Okay, remember that obstructions is obstructions to instructions, and the light gives you instructions, and there's light in everything. Yes, there's light in everything. Light in the food, light in the drinks, light in everything, unless it's a dead item. And when it's a dead item, then it's not emitting as much light as it need to be. Okay? And also reductionism ignores the waters. Okay? The body's waters carry the memory, the hormones, the minerals, the signals, the temperature. And we teach you this in your owner's manual about the importance of your 7 waters, the importance of the blood, the lymph, and all the stuff we mentioned earlier. We teach you about the central, the cerebral spinal fluid, the synovial, the interstitial, the intracellular, extracellular, all these things. But reductionism don't give a damn about no 7 waters. They don't know nothing about the emotional and biochemical frequency that goes through these 7 waters. So reductionism medicine ignores emotional trauma stored in fluids, but holism doesn't. Reduction medicine ignores lymph stagnation, but holism doesn't. Reductionism ignores cellular hydration, but holism doesn't. Reductionism ignores temperature states, but holism shouldn't. Reductionism ignores the elemental balance, but holism doesn't. So a dehydrated, stagnated inner water system can never heal. No matter how many pills you take, no matter how many pills you use. Okay? When you ignore these particular things, you're not doing the patient as big of a thing you think you're doing. Okay? When you ignore the elemental patterns of health, it's a whole different thing. Every person on the planet has an elemental constitution. The owner's manual for that funky measly $50 gives you this information. But we're just talking about the difference between the two. Every person on the planet has an elemental constitution. Air, fire, water, everybody got thought, breath, nervous system, everybody got metabolism and will and mitochondria, everybody got emotions and lymph and hormones, everybody got bones and minerals, everybody got all this stuff. But your owner's manual shows how imbalance creates the deficiencies, the tendencies. And that's the importance of the owner's manual. It uncovers the root cause of what's going on. I call it the internal weather patterns. Okay? Reduction medicine doesn't consider your internal weather pattern. Reductionism doesn't consider your elemental constitutions. Reductionism doesn't consider your deacon cycles. The reductionism doesn't consider the emotional element or the chakra element. Reductionism don't give a damn about no chakras at all. So what happens? What happens when reductionism does this? You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. What happens when reductionism does this is what? So what happens is the treatments start to mismatch the person. Literally. The treatments that are giving starts to be mismatched. It doesn't fit you. It's not compatible to the makeup of who you are. And that's a significant difference in the systems of healthcare. Okay? And then when reductionism starts to ignore the emotional body, okay? So we know that this right here, we're going to put this up here, the elemental. Now this is the emotional. Now we still stuck on mechanical so far. This is all they do so far, but we got all of these in holism. But let's keep it moving because I'm preaching to the choir today, okay? It ignores the emotional body, reductionism. Science now knows that trauma changes the immune function. We know this now. We know that stress alters the hormones. We know this stuff now, you guys. We know that grief suppresses immunity. We know this. We know that joy increases longevity. We know that touch, laughter, singing, crying, all that shifts brain chemistry. We know this now. Yet, reductionist medicine rarely treats your breathing, your coherence, your rhythms, your sound, your emotional purification, your connection, your meaning. They ain't got nothing to do with that. So then how you treat me? Why you treat me so bad? Why you treat me so badly? Right? Why you treat me so bad, dog? What I done did to y'all? So my point to you is that they don't treat the thing that you really need, and instead what it does is it just stays on chemistry only. Okay, it stays on chemistry only. All right, let me give you the number one. The number two, it's chemistry only based. All right, but it doesn't take into effect the human experience. So you're half-assing me with reductionism. Okay, and again, this thing believes that the body is mechanical, not intelligent. Let me repeat that one more time for I got about 4 folks in the back, so they got hearing aids. So the reductionism, it treats you and it believes that the body is more mechanical than intelligent. Reductionism sees organs as machines, cells as machines, the brain as a computer. But you are not a computer. You're not a machine. Huh? We know that. So why you treat me like that? You see? Why you treat me like I'm a machine when you know that I'm not? Because it's all about production. The same way they see a machine as production, they see you. It's all about production. Can we get you back out on the assembly line? How quickly can we get you back in production? How quickly can we get you back in the system producing taxes, money, producing interest, producing wealth for the wealthy? How quickly can we get this machine back online and back in factory mode, back in productive mode in order to increase the wealth of the few? How quickly can we get this machine back in the program? Okay, but you and I are not machines. Okay, we are light-coded DNA. We have a fascia that is like a fiber optic network. Okay, our heart has electromagnetic charge. It is like an electromagnetic engine. Okay, our brain waves are gateways of consciousness, and our waters are memory carriers, and our emotions are chemical medicines, and the body is an intelligent ecosystem and is not a mechanical device. And when you come to the HerbMan show, you're coming to learn. Okay? When you come to the HerbMan show, you're coming to learn. And so what we're trying to teach you is that there is another way. There is a simple, more effective, more affordable way to heal thyself. And there is no panacea product, but there is a panacea program. And with your owner's manual, you get that program, okay? Now, reductionism also will ignore prevention and regeneration. I say it will ignore prevention and regeneration because it don't want you to be well. Prevention is cheaper than the cure. So ain't nobody gonna get into no cheap shit but me. Because I'm on mission instead of industry. See, there's a difference between ministry and industry, and when you get that, you'll get me. Okay, but reductionism, the reductionist medicine waits until disease appears. Okay, it waits until cancer develops. Okay, that's why you've been going to the doctor all this time and they still didn't stop your cancer. You've been going to the doctor, you've been working at the post office 20-25 years, you've been going every year for a checkup, and you still got hypertension, and you still caught diabetes, and you still caught the cancer, and you still caught the gout, and you still caught the sugar, and you still caught these things, although you was going back and forth because your job told you, because you got insurance and got your little job, and girl, I go get my pap smear every year, and you still caught fibroids, and I still got PCOS, and I still caught endometriosis, and I still had infertility problems, and I still went down to that gynecologist every year. Reductionist medicine will wait until the autoimmunity activates. It focuses on late stage disease, not early cellular tension. It doesn't focus on blocked waters like the owner's manual. It doesn't focus on energetic depletion like the owner's manual. It doesn't focus on elemental imbalance like your owner's manual. It doesn't focus on loss of light or loss of rhythm like your owner's manual, because it's not a nature-based intervention. It is a modern technology-based intervention. And if you want to depend on technology-based interventions, then that's fine. They do have room, but they ain't got all the room. Okay? They got room, but they ain't got all the room. Okay, so you got to know that regeneration comes from what we build. Okay, regenerations come from what we build, right? So the herbs that you get in the owner's manual, that panacea herb, these things we're building in you. Okay, when you're talking about laughing, singing, and crying and touching, we're building the rhythm. When you're talking about going outside and getting the sunlight, you're building the rhythm between you and nature. Hydrating, you're building the rhythm between you and water. Mineralizing yourself, you're building that rhythm. Breathing, you're building that rhythm with air. The coherence, you're building that rhythm with light. And so there are barely all the stuff that we're talking about is barely taught clinically. So they ain't even gonna ever know it, even if they wanted to. Okay, so then you got to know that that's what comes with your options. All right, that's what comes with your options. So you got to understand that holism is a different thing. Okay, holism is a different thing. But now reductionism sees the herbs that we use over here. All right, reductionism sees herbs as chemicals, not intelligence. So it sees your body as mechanical, not intelligent. And reductionism sees herbs as chemicals, not intelligence. Yes. And that's what we're talking about. Reductionism, it isolates, it takes things out. You don't get whole food. You're not getting the whole thing anymore. It's stripped, and you're getting isolated parts of the whole thing. And therefore, you're not that though. You need the whole thing. That's why Whole Foods is one of the #1 grocery stores in America. Why? Because they're using the word whole, and everybody want to be whole. And that's why your Bible and that's why your religion is getting you, because everybody wants the whole thing, right? And so you must understand how we're using this vernacular, but I'm trying to teach you that you're choosing separation, although you're going toward holism. This is what you want, but this is what you keep choosing. We don't understand that. Bump upside the head. So what reductionist medicine asks all the time is, what molecule in this plant does the work? But again, plants are intelligent systems. They have mineral codes. They have elemental signatures, right? They have photonic information. They have symbiotic powers and partners that they gotta work with in order for things to happen. And the owner's manual gives you these 13 herbs that have been studied, tried, and true to restore you. But to restore what? The mineral grid in the body, the fascia hydration in the body, your cellular light. the lymph flow, the electrical coherence. And you can't do that with one isolated molecule. You can't do that with one isolated molecule. All right, you guys keep tapping it. I'll keep talking. You can't do that with one isolated molecule, you guys. All right, and that's just what that's the business of medicine. I ain't mad at it, but we do need to illustrate it and get you to understand the difference in what kind of care that you can choose today. Okay, reductionism treats the body, but it doesn't treat the person. Okay, reductionism treats the body, yes, but it does not treat the person. It ignores the birth blueprint, the life path that gives you meaning and identity. It ignores the seasonal cycles, where you at in life. It ignores your purpose, your emotional history, your spiritual development is being ignored in reductionism. Healing is not just physical, it's existential. And we must understand the difference between what is given versus what is out there. And there are different options, there are different things, but the programming is going to be the most important thing. Who is providing us with the knowledge that's necessary to really prolong and produce the right life that we're living? Okay? We can explain how people live long. Reductionism can't do that. It cannot explain longevity. Why some people live to 110, 120 years old, which is what we're trying to give you. Okay? Why centurions share specific emotional patterns. How consciousness affects biology. Reductionism don't know this stuff. How the environment shapes your expressions in your genes. Why rhythm heals. Reductionism is incomplete. It's not the way we need to continue to go. Now, here's the truth. Reductionist is not wrong. It's simply incomplete. Remember that I've always told you guys, great information, wrong application. So they're giving you 50% of what you need, right? And it's up to you to understand that. It's up to you to know that it's not everything that you need. It may be something. And that little something can help you guys a lot. That little something to get you back on your feet. That little something, okay, there you got up out of the hospital. You went to the hospital. They got his blood pressure down. They got his swelling down. You know, they got his bone back in. Yeah, it'll help. But you got to understand how this thing works. Reductionism sees chemistry, but not consciousness. It sees your organs, but not the elements. It sees pathology, but not purpose. It sees disease, but not design. It sees the human body, but not the human being. And that is the difference between reductionism and holism. And you need an integrated model, because that is what medicine should be moving toward and moving into. An integrated model of light and water and the elements and emotions and the herbs and consciousness and this whole understanding of life. It all was what our forefathers had in the time of Zep Tepi, in the time of the golden age, when we were linked with light and water and we worked in this coherence together with the land. Then you see how great things that we created that you can't even move to this day, that you don't even understand to this day. So this owner's manual is an integrated model. It's what medicine really is. This is what medicine becomes when it grows up. This is what medicine becomes when it grows up. Okay? And you guys got to understand that, man. Okay? Any questions thus far about reductionism or anything like that? Let me make sure everybody, please keep tapping out, keep talking, you guys. Please keep tapping out, keep talking. Okay? So this is what we're talking about. Top-down approach, okay? That's what the holistic approach is all about, right? And then you got this bottom-up approach from reductionists. But we know that digestion starts from the brain. We already get now that we should be coming from, we are the descendants, not the ascendants. So you keep trying to raise me up, but I really need to learn how to climb down my ladder, not to climb up no ladder. I'm not in hell, but I need to learn how to be able to meet myself in the middle. So spirit must be able to meet with matter. So therefore, I'm not going to, how can I be saying that I'm a spiritual being having human experiences, but I'm still trying to climb up? No, if I'm a spiritual being having human experiences, I got to learn how to come down. The spiritual being having human experiences come down. They don't go up. They come down. So I'm starting at the most high, not starting at the sin. I'm starting at the win. It's about how many losses you lose, not about how many wins you win. You're already the winner, but don't lose too much. So the thing about it is now they're teaching me the wrong way. They're teaching me from the bottom up. Religion is from the bottom up. Doctor is from the bottom up. The community of capitalism is talking about the bottom up. But then this man just told me that it's a top-down approach to this thing. And that's when you spin the pendulum, you change your perspective. When you change your perspective, now you change the trajectory of your understanding and your possibilities. Okay? Reductionism. Okay, the components is time, space, context. Okay, so this is disease driven, right? Aimed at normalcy with normal ranges, and they give you additives and things of that nature, right? But then when you look at what we're talking about with this interrelationship dynamic, and you're looking at holism, okay, then you understand that it's individualized, it's personalized, okay, it's customized to you. It's a multidimensional thing. Okay, it is also time sensitive, it's space sensitive and synergistic. But watch this though. You can use both of these to help yourself. Okay, you can use both of these to help yourself. Remember that we heal people through spirit and through science. So you can use both of these. All right, look at this: the reductionist approach, the clinical point of interest, unconnected components with clinical interest isolated from the rest of clinical parameters. But when you do holism, it's an interaction between genes, molecules, networks, all right, modules, and phenotypes. Okay. On the prevention side, unconnected disease, responsible genetic, molecular, and environmental factors. But look at the holism side, the whole span of disease, responsible molecular and clinical parameters as an entity. So it's always looking at how things are working together. Right? Everything is always looking at how things are working together. So reductionism breaks behavior into simpler parts. It focuses on cause and effect linked to biology, straight body stuff. All right, straight body stuff. It explains through isolated factors. That's what you call reductionism. They isolate it down to this and say this is the problem, but it don't be that be where the problem at. It don't be where the problem come from. That's the difference. They tell you where the problem's at. You got that accurate, but where did it come from? That's what we need to know. That's the root causation, okay? But holism looks at the whole person context. It focuses on interactions of all the systems, okay? You get that? So that's the difference right there. It explains through overall patterns instead of being so isolated, right? And that's when you start to get the difference between these two dynamics and approach to wellness, okay? So that's what you guys want to understand. You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. If there's any questions, let's go ahead and get them in real quick while I get this up off the screen. Any questions, go ahead. Okay, so your owner's manual is this. Your doctor is this. Your owner's manual is this. Your doctor is this. It's on you. I'm just showing you how great McDonald's is over Burger King, or how better Quick Trip Gas is over BP. That's all I'm doing. You have options, and we're going to compete with the biggest industry on the planet, which is the healthcare system of the world. There's a competition coming your way, and it's in the form of holism. And I want to be the catalyst. I want to be one of the first ones. I may not ever be the only one, because I know I ain't, but we're going to come to you, and we're going to let you know that you are no longer going to continue to compartmentalize a whole person. You can't continue to keep reduction, compartmentalizing, and isolating a whole individual. You know why I got high blood pressure if you know me. And you don't have to give me medications. I need to talk, though. The talk may relieve me. The understanding of different options I have in life may relieve me. I may come in there full of no options in the world. Again, you go through this pressurized situation in life where you're creating a lot of pressure in the pot. So you go 5 years with the trauma, you go 10 years and 20 years and 30 years with all this stuff creating in this pot. Yes, it's going to be under pressure. But the thing about it is, do you know how to daily discharge? And so with your owner's manual, you get the ability to know your own customized, personalized way to daily discharge, to integrate your nature within nature. And when you get this for that funky measly little $50, you'll see your life change. I've had so many people, and it ain't just a few people, it ain't just some people, it ain't just one person. I've had many people get this owner's manual and put their mind to it and put this to work. And in few months, their lives are changed because they're actually getting in it now. They actually are getting it. And when you get it, you got it, you'll be good. How long does it take the manual's direction to take effect, and when to stop taking the doc, and when do stop taking the doctor's meat? Pootie, I almost had you. How long does it take the manual's directions to take effect? Okay, so all of this stuff is very effective. But just like with the meds, it'll take you a few months, if depending on your situation. But when you put all this stuff together, this is not a lifetime, what they call that, prescription. The owner's manual is not a lifetime prescription. It's a lifestyle prescription. And when you get your lifestyle in order, then you don't have to be on a lifetime and be bound to anything, medically, herbally, or anything. This is freeing you. This is freedom in the palm of your hands. We go back to nature. Your birthday holds more information than any other piece of information that you have on you. So there's no need for me to take your blood. There's no need for me to know your blood type. There's no need for me to take a hair sample. There's no need for me to have a stool sample. There's no need for me to have a urine sample. There's no need for me to prick you, prod you, or poke you. I don't need to invade or be invasive. All I need is a birthday that gives me the longest running information on the tendencies of this baby. And you can be 70 and you still a baby. So you give me that birthday, and then mama say, this is my baby. My baby got these tendencies. And if they don't know these tendencies, then they got a tendency to run into these tendencies. And when they run into these tendencies without knowing thyself, these will conjugate up the blockages, the stagnation. These will conjugate up the chaos. These will conjugate up the hellish environmental mentality or perspective in this particular experience. And I ain't even mean to, but you got tendencies. And these tendencies came from when you came into the matrix. When you came into the matrix, I got a daughter right now in the belly. When she come into the matrix, they're going to be, just like Jesus. They knew that the morning star. Okay. And then you got the three wise men. Okay. Three wise men said, oh, the star shining bright. He must be in a manger, lying in swaddling clothes. Right? It's because when he came into the matrix, what was going on in, come on, you guys, cosmology and biology. So at the end of the day, that's what we're offering you that's way better than what you've been getting. And for a funky measly $50, I don't think you can beat it. We're offering you the understanding of why was this important to know about a son of God. It's because you must understand cosmology with biology. Cosmology with biology. The three wise men followed a star to see a baby. Cosmology with biology integrated makes you wise men. Lord have mercy. That took so much out of me to come out. Okay? But did you see that? Did you get that? Cosmology with biology makes you wise men. Right? So with your owner's manual, that's what we're offering you guys. If you're interested, please DM us and we'll get you that information. Okay? You got that, Pootie? All right. Appreciate you. Pootie said, I seen it when you did it. Okay. So now that's what we're understanding, and that's what we need for you to be able to get it. Okay. And you must embody this information. So when you're looking at why this over here ain't everything, is because of the way that they do things. Now, when it comes to emergencies, surgeries, right? They do their thing over here. Let's not get it twisted. Emergencies and surgeries, they do their thing, okay? But when it comes to what you deal with every single day, everybody ain't going down here every day, but I'm talking about every single day you need something. This is for when that happens. But what is happening every day, you need something for that. And that's holism. Holism is your everyday medicine. Holism is your everyday healthcare system. Okay? Holism is your everyday healthcare system, not reductionism. All right? Anybody got questions? Holism is your everyday healthcare system, not holism. And if you guys missed the video from yesterday talking about the daily flow, go to the YouTube page and look at that, where we give you how to integrate these things every single day of your life. You must learn how to detox every day, not every so often. And detoxing every day ain't about boo-booing and spilling out your guts, even though, yes, you want to do a bowel movement every day. You want to urinate every day. You want to sweat every day. You want to breathe correctly every day. Yes, all this stuff is very important to the cohesiveness of your body. But what we're teaching you in the daily flow, when you go back and look at it on YouTube, is that you're going to be able to see how to integrate and how to be able to decompress from just what you go through every day. Just little moments and times from work, from the spouse, from the children, from the parents, from the community, from jail, from whatever it is that you got going on in your life, from school, all this stuff. It teaches you how to combat with the thoughts and how to combat with self and how to combat with the environment, so that you can start changing your environment, because we know that environment is very conducive to the internal environment. And so if I got my external environment that is in cohesence with my internal, longevity is a possibility. 120 years is a possibility for all of us. Okay? For each and every one of us. Any questions? What's good, YouTubers? Okay, I'm here there. What's going on, Lip? Yes, sir. BioBot. Yes, sir. Holistic Great Grandma. What's happening there? Gotta give a shout out to my YouTubers as well as my TikTokers, man. We love you guys, all right? We love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, all right? Y'all must understand that. Any questions about the differences in what you get with each one of these? Any questions? I know there's a lot of people out there that's on medications, okay? I know a lot of you guys are watching me, they're taking medication. And my first question to you is, why have you been on the meds so long? Okay? My first question to you is, why have you been on the medications for so long? Reductionism, to me, 30 days or less, okay? 30 days or less, right? This treatment from over here, you should not want to be on this for a lifetime, okay? You should not want to be on this for a lifetime. Holism, I would say this is a lifetime, okay? You want to be on this for a lifetime over here. You want to have those lifestyle changes for a lifetime. But over here, if I go toward reductionism, if I go toward modern medicine, I don't want to do it for no more than 30 days or less. If I need to take blood pressure medication, I'm gonna get right quick. If I need to take metformin, I'm gonna get right quick. If I need to take this for my kidneys, I'm gonna get right quick. If I need to take this for my thyroid, I got to get right quick, because I know over here I can't be on this for a lifetime because of what it does. Remember, it separates the interworkings of the synergy. You ever had somebody come in and cop block? You ever had somebody come in and stunt your little mood with your old lady? You ever had the kids interrupt the situation? You ever had the record interrupt? It's because you broke the synergy. And so these inorganics break the synergy. And they'll rob Peter to pay Paul. Well, that's incomplete. Anything that comes in my body should enrich Peter and enrich Paul. Ain't no robbing going on inside of my body. So even that whole approach of robbing Peter to pay Paul, I don't want that in my body at all anyway. If you can't come in there and bless both of them, don't come into me at all. Because everybody need to be blessed in me. Here you talking about, I don't need you taking nothing from no Peter to pay no Paul. I need Peter and I need Paul. But you got to be able to understand this. Okay? You got to be able to understand this. Is the live freezing, you guys, or y'all be able to hear me? Somebody said the live was freezing. Somebody said the live was freezing. Put some ones in the chat if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Put some ones in the chat if you guys are picking up what I am putting down, all right? Put some ones in the chat if you guys are picking up what I am putting down. Not too much, still waiting on my pack. Okay. If you guys are feeling me, put some ones in the chat. Is it freezing?
Yeah, no, but it was launched on the night for
Okay, it just started.
Yeah. It just went up and then just
okay. Look like we got them back in the building right here, right? So reductionism, I don't want you nothing but 30 days or less, baby. You can't stay in my body as an inorganic no less than 30 days. I mean, no more than 30 days, all right? So you must understand that holism has to be a lifetime, okay? Holism has to be a lifetime. Now, when you're looking at the owner's manual and the possibilities and all the things that you're getting there, then you got to understand that this is just about integration. Okay, so this is integration, while this is isolation. Okay, you see the difference. So this is isolation. This is integration. Holism is making things work together, while this is making things separate and work as individual pieces and parts. So isolation is different from integration. Now, this can come into handy when you need for it, but at the end of the day, this is what you want to do on a daily basis, so you'll never need for this. If you do this on a daily basis, you'll never feel this. If you do a lifetime, you'll never need the 30 days or less. If you do a lifetime of lifestyle changes, you'll never need 30 days or less of any reductionist treatments or inorganic stuff. If you do a lifetime of integration, you'll never feel isolated. Which one do you want? That's what I want you to get. Which one do you want? Let's be real. Which one of these do you want? Which one of these do you prefer? Okay? Because at the end of the day, the modern healthcare system must be challenged. And we're going to challenge it. HerbMan Inc. is going to challenge it. I need a board, directors. I need everything you need to do so we can build this, but it's already ready. We just need the folks sitting in the places doing what we need to do to build infrastructure around this and not just this. Build facilities, build education around this understanding and not just this. Holism is a oneness. That's all this is. Yeah, I know, you know they're trying to get me. It's all good. You know they're trying to get me. It is all good. They can't stop it, and you can't stop it, and we can't stop it. You know what I mean? And they can't stop it, and you can't stop it, and we won't stop. So you just go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube. TikTok ain't doing nothing in the way, so go on to YouTube. All right, so you'll be good. But holism is a oneness. Well, this oneness has been reverberated throughout history. Okay, reverberated throughout history with people like Akhenaten. Okay, people like Akhenaten. Okay, you have people like Akhenaten talking about oneness, holism. You have people like Buddha talking about oneness, Jesus talking about oneness. Okay, all these different people. Who else we got here talking about this oneness, right? This secret in the sauce. Okay, and the oneness was in some kind of gift. And this gift is not a gift or myth, but what they knew is how to do a gift. And the gift was how to resurrect. The gift that these people were talking about will resurrect you. The resurrection was a transformation process. It wasn't somebody literally dead coming to alive, but somebody who were dead as far as consciousness, dead as far as perspective, dead as far as ingenuity, dead as far as creativity. Then that person was able to transform that particular perspective into a perspective of life, into a perspective of abundance, into a perspective so that they saw that life can change. And when they saw life can change, they say, okay, you can resurrect your life. You can resurrect your life. You can be going down the road, down the hill towards Sickville, USA, and all of a sudden change your life to go into a Wellville. You could be going down impoverished lane, and next thing you know, you could be on the Hollywood Star of Fame. You can be going down the road to Lonelyism City, USA, and then next thing you know, you end up in the community in which you really belong. You see that? How is that possible? Because of resurrection. And it's when the spirit meets the matter that these things can happen. All right? So that's what you need to understand, you guys. Do we still have technical difficulty? Because it looked like we're still having technical difficulty. TikTok still messing with me. Say, HerbMan, the best channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No issues. Right, everybody said they're good on that. All right, so we good. Okay, so now understanding that reductionism and the holism, the whole spiel, then the bottom line is which one will you choose? Okay, which one will you choose? Right, that's the whole point to this, you guys. Understanding what we're getting versus what the options are. Understanding what you've been receiving versus what your options are. When you start to understand again about absorption and reflection, then you start to see, okay, well, if I'm getting this information, how can I allow it to change my life? Well, you got to put it into practicality. And when you put it into practicality, you'll see that your life will change. Again, I've got cancer patients that no longer got cancer. I've got this people that no longer got that stuff. I got that people that no longer got that stuff. And so therefore, everybody is choosing what they want to do. They're choosing between CAT scan or a chemotherapy versus the herbs. But the thing about it is you got to have somebody that know what the hell they're doing. And so when you're coming to us, we're just showing you off the bat that we know what we're talking about when it comes to health. And you got to address the whole person. Okay, remember that your wants, needs, and desires are always going to spawn the problem. Okay, they're always going to spawn the problem. So is out of these things here, there's going to be something going on. And the thing about it is, no matter how rich or poor you are, this is what we got. And when these don't get met, this starts a cascade of different things. A cascade of stagnation, blockages, a cascade of scattered light, a cascade of all these different things where instruction can't get through properly. So these are your obstructions. Your wants, needs, and desires are obstructing you from being able to see this experience in the clearest vantage point. Your program wants, needs, and desires. So when you came into this thing, you got these programmed in you. Okay? These were programmed in you. Okay? You got these programs. It doesn't mean that you wasn't going to have these, but when you came in, you got these programs. So you got your wants program, your needs program, and your desires got programmed into you. Okay? And then so now these are your objectives. These are your life. These are everything you want. There's a husband in here. There's some children in here. There's some money in here. There's a house and car in here. There's a particular type of life that you came into this paradigm and you got programmed into. And this is going to be where the problem comes from. And so the thing about it is that this is a whole program. So if I come in here and just mess with the wants, when this is a whole program, and I'm a reductionist, if I come in here and just reduce it to the wants is the problem, and just eradicate the wants, okay? So I took away your wants, this reductionism. I took away your wants. Are you a whole program? Come on, somebody, interact. Keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. If I come in as a reductionist and say, okay, the wants is the problem with this computer. Is this program still whole? I'm gonna wait on you. Thank you, Pootie. Thank you, BK. It's not whole, right? Why do you keep choosing this? Why do you keep choosing this as a part of your life? You see what I'm saying? So but with holism, we don't come in and erase and reduce. We come in and reprogram. Okay? We come in and reprogram the whole program. We come in to reprogram the whole program with holism. Reductionism come in and say, okay, which one of these causing you the most pain? Which one of these causing you the most problem? Okay, so if it's your legs and your head, then we'll take the legs and we'll take your head, and we'll still keep you living through your lungs. Mother, I don't want to be here half-assed. Okay, so if it's your ears and your eyes, we'll make it the way you can't see and you can't hear, but your body's still here. Lord of mercy. If you can't make them whole, then why you messing with them? So you got to understand that you must reprogram the cell and you must reprogram the self. That's holism. It's not what they're doing in the thing. Okay? Any questions thus far you got to what you just heard? Any questions? The wants, needs, and desires are the problem. You can talk to a rich man right now, and he still got something he want, need, or desire, and that's irking him. It's irking him. It's this motivation, but it can also be the stumbling block. Yo, what y'all doing? All right. There go my last. So there go my last. Oh, but you already know I got to make it last. Got to. Got to. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions about reductionism or holism? Okay? You must understand this stuff. You got it. If y'all can't get this, you won't get it. So when I'm teaching you this, I'm teaching you because there's so many of us coming out. And there's so many herbalists, there's so many options, so many different things. People are confused. They don't know really what to do, where to go, who to turn to. They got all kinds of issues. They got all kind of diagnoses and all kind of stuff, man. And what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is, first of all, you must understand that you cannot fight a battle with half of an arsenal. Okay? And yeah, you guys have heard of people going to chemotherapy and they don't have cancer no more, but you've also heard of those same people having to have 5-year sentence because it might come back in 5 years. So it's not necessarily that something has cured you because they gave you a window for it to come back. So my point to you is that that stuff is a very big chance to take for a chance, right? It's a very, very, very big chance to take for a chance. But if I can do the same thing, if you give me that same chance, right? But I'm not necessarily having to take a chance, I will probably choose that option better. So if herbs can do the same thing, but I don't have to go be dead to come back to life again because chemotherapy is basically cleaning your whole cell, your structure, and then hoping that you reproduce the better cells. That's a very big chance to take. You don't have to do that no more. But the herbalist must know these systems, and you must know these herbs, and you must know the body, and you must know cosmology and biology, so that for when you're really going to nature, you have a connection and you have a relationship with nature. If you don't know cosmology, then how do you know nature? You say, well, I garden and I grow plants. Okay, that's a great way to know them. But my point to you is that you still know a little bit of cosmology because you can't grow without knowing when to grow. You can't grow, you ain't got no green thumb unless you know when to grow. When to grow is just as big as knowing how to grow. And how to grow got when to grow in it. So it's this knowing of when that is going to be very important. And cosmology brings the wind. So you'll understand the effectiveness of the wind. So let's say if I'm dealing with a winter issue, okay, I got a winter issue. How do I solve the winter issue? Anybody know? Okay. How do I solve the winter issue? You got 4 seasons. How do I solve the winter issue? Anybody know? I already know y'all know. If I got a winter issue, somebody says what a winter issue. Things that you get in the winter, cold, flu, this, that, and the third. Thank you, BK. Right? You're gonna solve it with a summer solution. Right? You solve winter issues with summer solutions. Right? With summer things. So that's hot. I solve cold and flu with hot and spicy. Come on, y'all. Keep tapping. I'm gonna keep talking. This ain't rocket science. Okay. So therefore, mama gave me a hot toddy, gave me a hot tea, gave me a hot this and a hot soup because I had a winter issue. Right? So that's it. That's the polarity. That's the recipe. I don't need to know too much more than that. It's not more complicated and more complex than that. The simplicity of things start to now bring meaning and bring design and bring originality and bring the correct way to be able to understand the trueness and essence of what we're experiencing. It's in simplicity, not in complexity. And so when I go back to the simple things, to go back to the finite, go back to really the understanding of the duality of things and begin to understand how the duality creates. How did this thing create with this thing? This is a boy, this is a girl. These are 2 different objects. But when they get together, right, when their courses exchange, which is intercourse, when this thing cross over here and this thing cross over here, and they meet in the middle, intercourse is only when it's in the middle. You ain't intercourse, you ain't coursed over, you ain't intersected me until you well, where does the intersection meet? in the middle. The intercourse is in the middle. That's why they call it, there's a meeting in my bedroom, because it's in the middle of the sheets. In the middle of the sheets create the new thing. The new thing is what you call a baby. But a baby ain't just a body, it's an ideal. I got two things. They're gonna be individuals. This gonna be it, and this gonna be it, and it's gonna, if this thing reproduces without intercourse, if it reproduces, it'll be identical to this right here. It'll be another one of these. If this over here reproduces without intercourse, it'll be identical to what it is up here. Why? Because the intercourse creates the newness. With your mama and your dad, it created you a new thing. You're not your mama and you're not your daddy. You something new. You might look like your mama, you might act like your daddy, you might look like your daddy, you might act like your mama, but guess what? You're not them. You are a new thing. And the only reason why it's required for a man to have intercourse with a woman is for the possibility of the new thing to be more heightened. Because again, if this was asexual, all right, if this was what we used to do it from, then you can only more primarily create an identical self, because there is no change in the chromosome. But when you get this chromosome and that chromosome together, then that's why the baby don't look all the way like you. That's why the baby don't act all the way like you. That new thing happened in the middle. That intercourse happened in the middle. And so when we're trying to get you to meet spirit with matter, we're trying to get you to meet in the middle to create the new thing within you. This is something that medicine, modern medicine, and reductionism will definitely not ever, ever teach you. Okay? Even when you're looking at the Son of God, you got to meet, and he's the mediator. The mediator. Jesus is the mediator. That means that person is sitting in the middle between you and God. So you and God are going to meet in the middle with Jesus. And when you meet in the middle with Jesus, then that is the new you. The new thing. The baby. The body. The new you. Taking old concepts and making them new, for us to realize exactly what these things are talking about within our paradigm. Okay? All right? Peace and blessings, Dr. Beauty. Peace and blessings. All right. So when we get you into this particular atmosphere, then these things become now different in you. Okay? Because they're going to send medicines that flow in and flow up and flow around. The aura begins to change. The disease begins to change. The mentality begins to change. The situations begin to change for us. Understanding cosmology and biology. So you take advantage of the weather patterns of life. You take advantage of the cyclical understanding of life. You take advantage of the knowledge that you understand about the experience, and you start taking advantage of, I know you're going to come back around. I know that that's going to come back around. I know that opportunity is going to come back around. I know that this suffering means opportunity. I know that. And so because now I know that, now every time I'm transforming the situation, something trying to buffer me, I make it out of a good thing. Something trying to hold me down, I make it out of a good thing. Something trying to hold me back, I make it out of a good thing. Something trying to put me down, I make it out of a good thing, because I've learned the alchemical understanding of how to transform what's bring to me. So now I become an alchemist in life. And so you bring a bad situation, I turn it into good. You bring a good situation, I turn it into a great situation. And so I'm constantly alchemically changing things coming in my life. And that's when you're in heaven. And that's what we're trying to teach y'all to get to, man. Okay? All right. So we got about 40 more minutes with you guys, man. I can really shut it off here. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and get up out of y'all hair. Okay? Pooh said, got it. Whoo, love it. There you go. All right. So hopefully you guys get it. I try to put it in the most simplest forms. Again, you guys get all this information in your owner's manual. If you guys are interested in the owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you that information. But that's really what this is all about. How do I get the new me? How do I transform? You gotta get, we gotta get, we gotta get what's out here to meet up in the middle. Okay? So we gotta get your spirit into the matter, spirit into your body. Now, what's happening is that you guys don't know what life lessons you're in. So let's look at it from this perspective, okay? Really quick, and then I'm out y'all hair. Draw this really quick. Okay? So this person is along this journey, right? You just call this the yellow brick road. Right? The person is along this journey. And a lot of times what happens is you come into the matrix at a particular time. Not a lot of times what happens. Every time what happens is you come into the matrix at a particular time, right? Okay, you come into the matrix at a particular time, right? And then you start living, you start evolving, you start, experiencing life. It is what it is, okay? You start to experience life. So let's say this person comes in right here, right? And you call this person a Cancer. That's what y'all will call this person, right? Because you came in the month of, from 521 to 621. I mean, from 621 to 721, because you came in at this time, right? From 621 to 721, because you came in at this time. They call you a Cancer, okay? And they say that because you're a Cancer, you're immediately going to be associated with home and family, right? That's what they say, okay? Now, that's when you came into the matrix. But let's say you living now, you 40, 50 years old. I don't know what date you came in, but let's just say right now you're currently in Scorpio. I'm sorry. You're currently in Scorpio in your life lesson. What's happening is that you're all you think is that this is what it is. Cancer, I'm a home and family, I'm Cancer, and it's all about you, but you're not integrating your nature within nature. So you got you. This is your nature. Your nature is a home and family person. But you still got to live through these 12 other, you got 11 other life lessons to live. You got 11 other things to learn, other tools to develop in. So yes, I gave you a propensity to have this in you from the start. You got a trait, but you got to learn other tools because life is going to pitch to you different scenarios and different situations. So the student got to go from grade 1 to 12. Don't you graduate out after the 12th grade? So if you graduate after the 12th after 12th grade, then it ain't just about what you came in with. It's about what you accumulate and acquire. And so what's happening is that you're so focused on just what you are that you fail the lessons of what it's trying to teach you. And this tool doesn't help with this tool because this tool is trying to help you with this lesson. You need what Sagittarius is trying to teach you to pass Sagittarius. That Cancer won't do. Now, what's happening is you see how my body can be separated from my spirit. Because when you're in the physical, all your focus is the physical attributes and tendencies of what they say. But what I'm saying to you is that life moves on. And when life moves, you got to move with it if you're going with the flow of nature. And you're buffering the waves, you're going against the grain, and you don't know how to swim. And the biggest thing is these are very deep waters of life, and you don't know how to float. And when you don't know how to float, then you are not equipped with the necessary attributes that it'll take to live long in troubled waters. Even in the ability for these waters to be troubled, you ain't got the skill set to survive. If all you can do is dog pedal, you won't make it to 120 years old. You're tired out, you're burnt out, you're disease out because your technique is not equipped for longevity in this life. Your technique to live, your programming is not fit for longevity. Anybody else? So I'm gonna run to that. Thank you. I'm a Virgo. Purpose and clarity. Yep. I'm Capricorn in my Taurus season. Life path 1. Dry, but I'm getting through it. Yeah, you got to watch yourself. Yeah, definitely dry. So you definitely got to watch it. Based on your wisdom, I would love to know the life lesson. It just all depends on where you are, Dr. Beauty, right? So I don't know your life. You got to tell me if you know where you are. So some of these people know where they are because they got their owner's manual. But you get this information in your owner's manual. This is one of the most important pieces of the owner's manual is when you get that circle and it tells you where you are versus where you were born. Because the thing about it is, like I told you guys, we get stuck at this because we think that this is who we is. And so everything is surrounding this because that's me. I'm the Cancer, right? That's me. But when you look at it from a perspective of understanding life, then you'll see that that's the great part of you coming into the paradigm. But it could be a weakness if you don't learn the other tools of life, because everybody's not going to come at your strong suit. Everybody may not come at you this way because that's your strong suit, but because you weak in 11 other areas, I got 11 other motherfucking ways to tie your ass up. Okay, so let's get this understanding. It's not rocket science, but it's true. It's real. It's effective. It's simple. It's affordable, and it's highly effective. Okay. So now you understand that we get caught up in the individualism of life and we don't understand the nature of nature. And so you got that person just trying to be a Cancer and trying to be them, but they don't know that they're going through things in life that's wanting them to be better. Some of you guys, when y'all went through the financial season of life, you didn't pick up the tools. So therefore, you passing down a failing test when it comes to finances. Some of y'all, when y'all was in y'all Taurus, you didn't handle Taurus appropriately because ain't nobody told you. So grandmama didn't handle Taurus right. Granddaddy didn't handle Taurus right. So then mama didn't handle Taurus right. And so daddy didn't handle Taurus right. And so now the child ain't got shit because when y'all was in y'all financial season, you didn't know that that was the life lesson and you failed it over and over and over. So therefore, you're passing down hereditarily that you are financially illiterate because you keep failing Taurus. Some of you guys are failing self, Aries. And so you ain't got no passion, no push, no drive. Some of you guys are failing at self-improving, self-evolving. Some of you guys are failing at self-realization, your self-appearance. You're failing at that, and you've been failing, Aries, for a long time. And so you pass down nappy hair and bearded, and all this old, you pass down this, I don't give a damn about myself, because you keep failing, Aries, in life. These are the tools for longevity. It's just like walking down the forest. Every now and then you're going to come across a deer. A deer going to run away from you. But sometimes a mountain lion going to be out there too. And these are your tools for understanding the forestry. Life ain't going to always be as simple, but you need tools. And then on top of that, when you go through the forest, you're going to have to eat eventually. Do you got the tools to fire up something to eat, to hunt for your food, to fish for your food? Did you bring a rod? Did you got a knife? Do you got something to fire up a campfire? Are you prepared? Do you got the tools? You can't ask for a long life without tools. Okay? You can't ask for a long life without tools. So you preaching now, right? So that, but I'm just trying to teach people that we can see this. This is no longer something to be dreamed of and to be in your minds totally. And now we can start to visualize where I'm fucking. This man can literally tell you where you at on the map of life. This is a GPS of you. We know you got one on your phone. We know you got one in your car. But did you know it was one in the clouds talking about where you at in life? Emmanuel Anto said Capricorn year one Gemini. Yeah, okay. So year one in Gemini, you just getting started, right? Just getting started in your communicative process, just getting started in your intellect is about to expand. You're growing and developing that intellect, growing and developing in your communication skills. All of that is when you first enter into Gemini. It's things that are just starting, just beginning in you. And intellect and your communicative skills are going to be the two things that you're going to grow and develop and that you're starting to right now. And also your social ability, being out and about and getting out and getting kind of being the life of the party. All that's Gemini. You saying all the stuff I was looking for in the church. Yes, because I was a pastor, okay? Not a pastor, but a minister. I ain't gonna say pastor because I don't want to, I ain't have my own church. Pastors have their own church. I didn't have my own church. But yes, I came up in the ministry, and this is an extension of those things. I wanted to be able to do more. All I just thought about was the man of God should be able to do more. Yes, I can preach. Yes, I know how to sing. If y'all ain't been on here long enough, I'm an old school minister, but and I went down and I came up off that. So yes, we know that, but you can do more. Instead of sending a person out of the church and telling them to go pray when they don't even really know who God is, they don't really have the faith of the mustard seed that you're teaching them about. They don't know none of this stuff. You the one that do, but your congregation ain't as strong spiritually as the leader, and you take that weak person and then send them back out to the same environment. And you have them wishing on a well when there's nobody around to encourage them. Everybody that was for their good is in the building, is in the church, right? Everybody that's really fun. So you make the magic happen around the right environment. So the magic has to happen in the church. So therefore, you have to have the money that they need in the church. You got to have the herbs, the medicine that they need in the church. You got to have the food that they need in the church. You got to have the knowledge that they need in the church. So the leader of that church needs to be a banker, a doctor, a pastor, a therapist, and a whole bunch of titles is a pastor. A pastor ain't one thing, because if you had a flock of sheep and you a pastoring these sheep, you still got to goddamn, you got to groom them. You got to, if they get sick, you got to do what you got to do with them. So you're more than just a shepherd, but a shepherd is an umbrella of a lot of different things in order to keep his flock. And they ain't finna let me sell herbs in no church. They ain't finna let me tell you about cosmology. They're not finna let me really get the total you. They want to keep you fragmented in the segment. So therefore, we had to come to our own platform to create the church and the movement that we know exists. And this church is just the ministry of wellness. And wellness is the umbrella which covers your wealth and all that other stuff. And if we feel like if we can get our transformative minds together, then that mind can have abundance for many of years. That mind can have life in abundance for many years, right? So we're transforming these people by understanding who they really are, integrating your nature within nature, but you don't know your nature. And we got to get you to know your nature. Thank you for the information, not knowledge. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the information and knowledge. I'm sorry. Yes, Miss Peace. So that's what it really is, right? So we catch you here. We do this all with the owner's manual. And then you'll start seeing. And so now, if this person in Cancer, if they focus on what Sagittarius is saying, then guess what? What you do then? if you in Cancer and you focus on what Sagittarius is saying, because Sagittarius is now the center of your life lesson. But you got to come down You got to know how to descend. Okay? The life lesson is always the center, but where you at? Do you know, are you in tune? Can you come down to meet the moment? Okay? The life lesson is the center of your life, but you be everywhere else. You focused on home and family all your life. There's other things. You got that. That's gonna happen. There's other things. So now for me, I came into the paradigm as a Gemini. Okay. So as a Gemini, me coming into the paradigm, and then now I'm here in Scorpio. So this is where I'm at. Scorpio is my life lesson. But here I went through a little lesson of Gemini. So I learned communication and intellect. I got that in the bag. Okay. Then when I got the Cancer, it gave me the home and family urge, right? So a woman that me don't know I got this urge for home and family is because I got that. That's a tool of mine. It's in my tool bag already. So now home and family is a part of me because I picked up that life lesson. Okay. And then I got into Leo. Okay. So then I understood that skills and being very, very good at something was very important. Being a professional, loving what you do. That's Leo. You got to love what you do. Put your heart into what you do. So I got that lesson as I came. And then Virgo came in. And then I learned that goddamn, you got to watch out for your health and fitness. Otherwise, you'll leave here no matter even if you're young. So then health became a lesson that I learned, which is why I'm into this, right? And then I got the lesson of Libra, right? Which is relationships, right? So now these are all the things I'm learning as I go. Okay. Now, and then here now I'm in reproduction, which is or what I call production or transformation. Now I'm talking about transformation at a time where I'm in the season of transformation. So I'm in tune with where I'm at because I'm reproducing. I got a baby in the oven. I'm talking transformation. I transform my own life in the same time frame. Riding the waves. Knowing the life lesson, you ride the wave. Even if you don't know the life lesson, half of y'all already have been through some of this stuff and you don't know it, but you start to get that unction and get that intuition just naturally. But for a lot of us, we don't know that that's what's happening to us. Because we still focus on who we are in Gemini instead of where we at in Scorpio. Okay? You pick up these things as you go through the journey. You pick up these life lessons as you ride the waves of life. You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. As you ride the waves of life. But remember that your life lesson is the centerpiece. It is the focal. It's not when you came in, it's what life lesson you in. Okay? It's not when you came into the paradigm, right? So your birthday is great information because we need that, but it is not when you came in. It is the life lesson that is the middle of your life. So therefore, if you want to know what is it that I need to be focused on right now, you need to know your life lesson. You get that in the owner's manual. Your life lesson is the focal point of your life. When you put the spirit into the matter, that means that when you get present in the moment, Kairos time, when you become present in the life lesson, you bring clarity to the life lesson and you move through the life lesson and you pass the life lesson. When you bring spirit, that means when you bring your presence into the moment. But you can't do that if you don't know mostly, and most of us don't know. Like I said, we're kind of fumbling into this information. We intuitively, unctionally get it, and some of us get it, and that's how we get rich. That's how we hit the gambling, and that's how we hit the numbers, and that's how we get our opportunities. But it's a hit and miss. But I'm talking about being able to do it when you want it, when you want it. I'm being able to just do it when you want it. Then you got to learn this information. How do I get the manual? Lady K, all you got to do is DM us, okay? DM us and somebody will get in contact with you, okay? DM us and somebody will get in contact with you. So that's all that this is about. It is starting to show you these life lessons, okay? And so at the end of the day, what's wrong with not knowing this? Why should I know this? Why do I need to know this? I'm trying to tell you that if you're trying to live to 120 years or more, the less mistakes you make through the paradigm, the more you're able to accomplish this feat and more. The less mistakes you make decision-wise through this life, then that's going to help you extend your life. So the importance of knowing where you're at, we would think, will provide you for a less likely ability to make mistakes and a more ability to circumvent certain things, understanding the life lesson. You can't stop these lessons. You can't stop the tornado. You can't stop the thunderstorm. You can't stop the hurricane. You can't stop the thing coming, but you can prepare for it in the best way possible. And preparation beats a piss poor performance. And you pass the test. Okay? All because you were simply prepared for it. You couldn't stop the boat from rocking, but you were prepared for it, and you didn't let the rocking of the boat rock your faith. You couldn't stop the issue. You couldn't stop uncle. You was only 6 months. You couldn't stop your cousin. You was only 3. You couldn't stop your uncle. You was only 7. But what you can do is not allow it to rock your faith, rock your boat. You couldn't stop the storm. But we can prepare better, prepare our children better. These are lion, tigers, and bears out here. And lion, tigers, and bears come in the form of people, places, and things. Prepare your children. They might not be in the wild of life, in the jungle, but this is a jungle. And you must prepare your children better for the lions, tigers, and bears of life, because they are becoming prey. Because out of their ignorance, they're creating industry. And this thing doesn't get better by wishing it and praying it away. It gets better by practicality. It gets better by reflection of the information that you guys are picking up. You guys keep tapping out, keep talking. Well, we're coming live from South Africa, you guys. How does the life transition come when we go around the wheel of lessons? Okay, so life, great question. Excuse me, I need some water. Great question, okay? So really quickly, let me show you this. Life lessons always come during the change of seasons, okay? So during the change of seasons, so right here is a change of season. When Gemini goes from Gemini to Cancer, you'll call that from spring to summer, right? So this is from spring to summer. Okay, that's a transition of weather patterns. Okay, also is another transition that's going to come here. Okay, and this is between Virgo to Libra, right? And this is when it goes from summer to fall. Okay, and then you get another transition right here from Sagittarius to Capricorn. And this is when you got your fall to winter. Okay, now because we understand nature, then we understand, and then you can also do this one right here. Okay, which would basically be this line as well. And this is going to be from Pisces to Aries, and this is going to be your winter to spring. Okay, these are the transitions of the seasons. These are the transitions of the seasons. Okay, now these also happen in your life. These are happening in your life. During these transitions, there are going to be significant major life events. Significant major life events happen during transition seasons, during life transition seasons. Okay, you can get them early, you can get them late. It doesn't really matter. But these things are 10-year spans of time. So each life lesson is worth 10 years of your life. 12 years times 10 is going to equal 120 years, which is why the Bible says that Adam and Eve kicked out of the garden gets 120 years at least. We ain't even living up to this, but this is what they told you as soon as you sin, supposedly, that you get the 120. Give me my motherfucking 120 then, God. I want my 120 and plenty more if I got something after that, but I want at least what you want to offer me. Okay? And so why we talking about 75? 75 is because you got 3/4 of the information. 3/4 of the information is having 3/4 of fuel. You only got 3/4 of fuel to go. So that means you only got 75 years out of a 120-year pie. What is if this y'all better listen to somebody now. Okay? If this is a pie, if this is a pie, right? If this is a pie, that means that this is from 10 to 30, from 30 to 60, from 60 to 90, and from 90 to 120. When do we mostly die on the planet? Which is 75%, 3/4. Most of us die between the ages of 60 and 90 years old. That's the 75 years. You thought it was 75 years on the dot. No, it's 75%. It means 3/4 of the knowledge, 3/4 of the way. That means looking in the glass half full. That means you got, but it's some stuff that you need to know. And this stuff that we're trying to tell you is going to give you the fuel to make it the rest of the course. The whole life, the full life, the oneness is the wholeness. We want you to go around this whole motherfucking map. Don't go around half of it. Don't go around 3/4 of it. We want you to go around all of it, and so that you get that full cyclical understanding of evolving around life, evolving around Earth. And that's how you do it. But most of us are dying in the ages of 60 to 90, which is 75% of the journey. And that's the 75 that the Bible was talking to you about. I can't say that in church, but I can say that in Him. And that's why we're doing the ministry here. So you can say what you need to say for the people to get the message. Don't box me in. My job is to gain my brothers and sisters. We can't be boxed in. We can't use words of divisiveness, and we can't box ourselves in for us to teach this message and for us to understand it. And a lot of times religion will box a person in the way you can't teach it the way you could really teach it for folks to know what it is that you're trying to tell people. And if that ain't got God in it then. Okay, so this is where most of us are dying, but 60 to 90, 75% to 3/4. So you came in only with 3/4 worth of gas. Well, why did you come in only with 3/4 worth of gas? Because the 60 to 90 years old also represents the 6 to 9 months of birth that you think is good. Okay. The 60 to 90 years old represents the 6 to 9 months of birth that you think is okay to come into the matrix with. And so because you came into the matrix in 6 to 9 months of 12, then you got 60 to 90 years to live. You got the 3/4 of gas. You came in with 3/4 of gas, and when your ass run out, you run out. And most of times when you come in 6 to 9 months into the paradigm, you got a guarantee most of the time to live at least 60 to 90. Oh, but over here is precious. Over here going to require something else. Over here requires some more gas, some more fuel, some more light, some more information that you got to get to be able to get to everlasting, my friend, to be able to get the longevity. My friends, you must rise to the occasion, or you must descend to the occasion, whichever one you want to call it. But 6 to 9 months of gas, because we believe in the 6 to 9 months of birth. So the 6 to 9 months of birth only is going to qualify you for the 3/4 section of the journey. because that's the fuel. That's how much organs you got. That you stayed in there only to get that amount of light, that amount of information around the journey. You only got that much of information. You stayed in there 69 months, and that's how much information that you got to go on. And that can possibly get you up to 60 to 90 years of living. So we want 12 months gestation. I know my old lady don't like to hear that because she got one in there, she ready to come out. But my point to you is that this is the old way of understanding these things. And when you learn nature, you'll learn your nature, and you'll be better off for it, you guys. And that's what we're offering in the owner's manual. Okay? And that's it. There's nothing more than that. What's questions you got? Body be broke down. Hey, where can I get the necklace like yours? I mean, you can make this. They make these any kind of way, you guys, but I don't know where my wife got it from. All right. Ain't where you are. It ain't where you from. It's where you at. Yes, left. It ain't where you from. It's where you at. That is perfectly correct. It's not where you from. It's where you at. And you see how we focus on where we from. I'm the Gemini. You a Gemini. You a Gemini. You a Aquarius. Or that's just a Capricorn and Cancer. No, it's about, motherfucker, where your ass is at. Cancer, because your ass is a Cancer, but your ass is still in a different life lesson. And you need to pick up these fucking tools. And your ass is a Sagittarius, but your ass is still in another life lesson. And you need to be able to pick up these tools. And yeah, your ass may be a Gemini, but you're in the life lesson. And the life lesson is the focal point. The life lesson is the focal. Okay? Who don't understand that? Your life lesson is how you got to meet the matter. So the life lesson is the center of the life, and you have to bring your spirit into that situation, into that matter, and deal with it, handle it, pass the test. How many of you guys know what life lesson you're in? Okay, put some ones in the chat if you know what life lesson you're in. Put some twos in the chat if you're considering knowing what the life lesson you're in. Because at the end of the day, that's the problem, and that's what's causing the stress. Because that's when you're fighting against the tide of life. Okay, when the waves are trying to push you toward the life lesson, you swimming against the grain. Decisions are pushing you toward this thing. Well, life situations is pushing you toward that, but you study fighting against it. You can't swim in tumultuous waters. You can only float. And that floating is a giving up. That floating is a acknowledgement that it's going to be okay to flow the way that life. It's going to be okay if life is saying, here come a husband for your motherfucking ass. It's going to be okay, nigga. He coming. And I need you fighting against it and you really wanted it. This life lesson is telling you to travel and learn new things, and you keep trying to hold on to some old stuff. It's okay to learn some new stuff. It's a tool that you need to learn. It ain't got nothing about replacing what you know. It's adding to what you know. Yeah, I don't want to learn no new experience because I'm good with what I already know. Well, keep it, but still learn something. Ain't nobody saying replace that shit that you... We said still keep moving forward. Learn new things as well. Okay? That's what we need to do. So I don't know mine's 11/15/1970. Yeah. What can I add to my life lesson? Well, you just got to know where you at. You just got to know where you at. So 11/15/1970 is going to be something that looks like this, right? So 11/15/1970, 11 and 15 is 26, 2 and 6 is 8, right? And then 17 is 8, 8 and 8 is 16. So then you're 7, right? So a life path 7, or model number 7 is what we call it with the owner's manual, okay? And so 10/21 to 11/21 is a Scorpio. Okay, you only did 6 days. 6 days of Scorpio means you did 2 years. Being born in 1970 means that you are 9 years older than me, so you're 55 years old this year, right? 55-year-old this year. So you only did 2 years of Scorpio. So 2 years. Each life lesson is worth 10 years. right? So 2 years, 12, 22, 32, 42, 52 is right here, and you 55, right? So you are 3 years into Taurus, okay? 3 years into Taurus means that you're in the first decan of Taurus. That means that you are starting, okay? For the last 3 years, you have seen a significant increase in your personal possessions, earthly brown. Earthly color brown, you're in your Taurus. This is your financial time. Okay, remember I just told you that financial literacy comes in Taurus. Financial literacy comes in Taurus. Now, Taurus is also in the spring. So this is something that you are growing and developing. This ain't something you always had. Okay, so you're growing and developing these financial tools. In the last 3 years, you're starting to see a increase in the residual from the knowledge of what Taurus is trying to tell you. Now, also, Taurus is trying to show you not only financial literacy and an increase in personal possessions, but Taurus is also trying to get you to see the beauty in things, right? How beautiful life is and how beautiful people are. And when you understand that, you pass this life lesson. Okay, I inherited homes, cars, and finances exactly in Taurus. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that's what that's about, all about. And Taurus is opposite of Scorpio. So you are a Scorpio, and the opposite of a Scorpio is Taurus. Now, with Scorpio, there will be some loans or some inheritances, but this is all just started in this last 3 years. Are we wrong or right? That's what we want to know. Okay, how beautiful folks are. How do I see beauty in people? Well, you already that type of person, but because you're a Scorpio, you like to see the ugliness in people. I want you to do the opposite of what you've been doing, Earthly. I know you now, and I ain't even got to know you. You just gave me your birthday, girl. Okay, so you used to seeing the ugliness in people. You always see what fucked up about a person, but we want you now to start seeing what's good about people. Okay. Y'all see, Earthly said I inherited. I don't want you to put your number up there, Earthly, because I don't want nobody coming to your house because even I need a loan. I was going to ask you for a little private loan too when I saw that number. So we ain't going to put the number out there. But Earthly just inherited just inherited 6 figures 2 years ago while being in Taurus. Don't know can of paint what's happening and why, but we're here to tell you that. Yeah, you're a Scorpio, so you like to see what's wrong in people. But I'm saying the Taurus is want you to see the opposite, what's right. So you are already prone as a Scorpio for inheritances, for loans. Remember that a Scorpio is about mutual possessions. The Taurus is about personal possessions. So you see how you're at the direct opposite time of where you're at. Okay. You're in the direct so you're about mutual possessions, but you're incurring personal possessions. Okay, so now I want you to start meeting your over here. You need to be in the Taurus mindset. The man just told me I'm in Taurus, so start looking for more. Start looking for more stuff. Okay, you at that time. I know you don't like people because you see the ugliness in people. I'm telling you what to do. If you don't pass that test, then it's a tool that you don't get. And again, without these tools, we can't ask for longevity. Okay. Uh yes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So that's just a little something there for you to understand where this person is at. Okay. The life path 7. The life path 7, most of you guys for life path 7 is normally going to be what? Anybody know what a life path 7 is? Anybody know what a life path 7 is? Anybody know what a life path 7 is? Sugar, if you want to get your reading, if you want to get your reading, Sugar, just email me, DM me. Okay. The readings are not for free, unfortunately. The consultations are paid. but the education is free. Okay, the education is free. So as long as you guys are willing to come into the pages and come into the lives, you'll begin to understand and know this stuff to where you can work your own self out. But that's what the owner's manual is simply about, working your own self out. Okay. If people come on here and they don't know what I'm really talking about and this, that, and the third, that's really the biggest thing is that right there. This stuff is about working your own self out, understanding your own self, understanding exactly what you need to do in order to uh, help yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like we leaving a lot of this stuff up to a lot of other people, and it is not their job. That I'm gonna just say it like that. It is not their job, okay? And just to be kind of simple with it, it is not their job, and so it's all about what you gonna do. What's happening? What's happening? But that doesn't tell you what decade you're in. What you mean? Tell you what decade you're in? It does tell you what decade you're in, but I don't understand your question. So write it differently so it can come up differently. Nay. What's the lesson in Sagittarius? The life lesson of Sagittarius is just to learn new experiences. Oscar HVAC. Okay, be open to new experiences, learning new things, going to different places, seeing new things. Having this open world view, other than just some kind of a local view, so to speak, right? So the Sagittarius is all about opening up and expanding one's viewpoint and life experiences and learning experiences. Okay. What about Aries? Aries is always going to be a time where you're learning yourself. So this is always a time of self-improvement. Okay. Self life lessons that you need to learn, all that type of stuff. That's what that's going to be about. Anybody else? Peace. Anybody else? All right, you guys, I'm gonna get up off of here, man. It is my time to go. I just try to stay on here a little bit longer because we have some technical difficulties. But I love you guys, man, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it until next time. Love her, man. We'll be back on tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. I got some customers that want to call in for their consultation, so let me get off the live, man. I love you guys. Woosay! Boy, what you over there doing? You can't hear your goddamn name. What you doing? Huh? You what? Oh, he was drinking water. He couldn't get it. He couldn't get it until I caught y'all guard.